Hey parents, of all of the types of sleep struggles and sleep issues that our kids go through, night terrors have to be the scariest, the most intense, the really most confusing of all of those sleep challenges. Now, when our kids struggle with a health issue, what do? We typically go to the pediatrician first. Whether it's a health issue or a sleep challenge, we ask them, what's going on? Why is this happening in my kiddo? And then what can I do to really help my kiddo get through this struggle? And unfortunately, the standard pediatrician's answer these days is, you know what? They'll grow out of it. Don't worry about it. It's harmless. It's really not that big of a deal. And we really don't know what causes it. But don't worry, mom and dad. It's just something they'll grow out of. Now, as neurologically focused pediatric chiropractors, we always take a different perspective. We always take a different approach because our goal is to get to the root cause of your kiddo's struggle. Whether it is colic, whether it is ear infections, whether it is constipation, whether it is sensory processing challenges, these are all things that actually are very related to night terrors as well, as you'll learn later in the video. But we are absolutely dedicated to finding the root cause of those issues so that we can find the answer. Now, this video is going to be for you, mom and dad. If you have a kiddo who is struggling with night terrors or sleep challenges, and maybe you've been told by the pediatrician that it's harmless or they'll grow out of it, what I want you to know is that it is not harmless, it is not normal, and it is not something they'll grow out of. They will absolutely grow into other conditions and get new names, new diagnoses, and things like that. So hang in there with me for a minute. We're gonna get into the science and really break down the root cause. Now, we won't get too nerdy, don't worry, but the most important thing you're gonna get out of this video is action steps that you can take to get your kiddo to the other side of this. Because we know that if your kiddo is having night terrors, if they are not getting good sleep, then the whole family isn't getting good sleep. And we're gonna talk about how important that is for the neurological development and the health of not only your kiddo, but for the whole family. So the first thing that you need to know about night terrors is they are absolutely different than nightmares. They are intense, they are full of anxiety, full of fear, and they happen during non-REM sleep. Now, we're not going to go into all of the different phases and cycles of sleep in this video, but it's important to know, and like we all know, sleep is absolutely an essential for everyone, but it's especially an essential for our developing kiddos, for their developing and growing brain and neurology. And when they are going through all of those phases and stages of sleep, it's important to talk about, number one, the quantity of sleep that they have, so how long they're actually sleeping. But we also have to look at the quality, and that is how well they are actually making it through those phases. And what we know is that if your kiddo is having night terrors, they are not getting the quality of sleep. They are not getting that healthy, healing, developmental sleep that allows them to detox and rebuild from the day before, and then really restore and develop and grow for the next day. Now, when you understand neurology the way we do as neurologically based and neurologically focused chiropractors, then it becomes so clear that that is the baseline, that neurology is the baseline for getting that good, not just quantity of sleep, but quality of sleep. And it's so important to us that all kiddos are getting through, getting this good level of sleep, this good quality of sleep, so that they aren't having to suffer with colic as an infant or night terrors as a toddler, because that's really when a lot of this hits, really between the ages of 2 to 6. So I'm gonna switch to the iPad here, and we're gonna look at a few things that really gets into the root cause and why your kiddo is struggling, how that neurology gets off in the first place, and then again into some action steps on what you can really do going forward to get your kiddo to the other side of this. So this is a really simple visual that we use in our office, and it really goes into what is happening and shows what is happening with night terrors and really sleep challenges in general. And so the way our nervous system functions is it has two separate modes of operation, two distinct modes. And the brake pedal side of the nervous system is in charge of exactly what we're talking about here, the rest and digest side. And sleep is what happens when our bodies are shifted to that parasympathetic mode, that brake pedal mode. And an important nerve that we talk about all the time in our office is the vagus nerve. And this nerve is responsible for so much of our sleep, so much of our digestion, so much of our emotional regulation, our immune regulation, and really even our behavioral and social regulation as well. In fact, what we find is that children who struggle with sleep issues have a much higher clinical correlation to neurosensory, neurodevelopmental, neuroemotional, neurobehavioral challenges later on in life. So if your kiddo isn't getting enough sleep, then they aren't spending enough time in this brake pedal mode, and they can't properly calm, they can't properly regulate, and really they can't properly develop. So here's what happens. During the day, naturally, your kiddo's nervous system should be operating more on this side over here. This is the gas pedal side. This is their sympathetic mode. They are up, they are active, they are playing, they are moving. And that mode needs to be activated in order for those things to happen. And then as the nervous system starts to sense the circadian rhythm slow down, the nervous system really starts to unwind and to calm down and to get ready to sleep. And these kiddos' nervous systems start to shift towards that parasympathetic brake pedal. And that's what should be happening in us as well as our kiddos. Now, to keep it simple, there are sort of two marks that need to happen in order for a kid, or in order for the kiddo to really get good sleep. First of all, they have to get to sleep. Falling asleep in the first place. And then number two, they really have to get to deep sleep. That deep sleep is what we talked about, where they're really able to get into deep REM sleep and really heal and develop and grow. That's when all of those positive changes really kick in. But what happens in many kiddos, if they had a stressful pregnancy, when their brain and their nervous system was first developing, if they had a physical or traumatic birth from maybe forceps or vacuum extraction or an induction or an emergency C-section, then those kiddos tend to have more stress here in their nervous system, and they start to shift more towards that sympathetic mode. These are typically the kiddos who are colicky and refluxy. Maybe they have lots of ear infections and antibiotics, and then maybe they have some constipation. They're that really wound up, hard to calm down, hard to soothe baby, and they don't grow out of that colic. They don't grow out of that ear infections and all of those things, but into other challenges later on. So now, even during the day, that kiddo is more stuck in that gas pedal. Their nervous system is too wound up. It's too much on the gas pedal. And what this looks like during the day is meltdowns and tantrums and neurological delays and motor delays. And if a child is too stressed out during the day, too much on this gas pedal, then when they try to go to sleep, it takes forever because that gap to get there is so big already. And then when they do get there, they can't stay there. Maybe they're the kiddo who only sleeps for 2 to 3 hours at a time. Maybe they're having night terrors. Maybe they are coming and getting into bed with you. They are just struggling to sleep. And, we lovingly call these kiddos raging bulls. You'll know what I mean if you have one. And, later on, that turns into that ADHD, that anxiety, that autism spectrum disorders. And it's just because their nervous system is too much stuck on that gas pedal. So that right there is the root cause of these night terrors. And not only night terrors, but other sleep challenges as well. All of those things that we just talked about. So if you have tried everything else, if you have tried melatonin and magnesium and white noise machines and all of the essential oils, and your kiddo is still struggling to sleep, then there may be one foundational piece missing, and that is that their sympathetic nervous system is stuck on, their gas pedal is stuck on, they are stuck in overdrive all day, every day, and they neurologically cannot calm down. They cannot get that good rest. So if you think that this is what may be going on in your kiddo, please click the link down in the copy of this article or of this video. The link is also in my bio. Check out my website. There's a fantastic article that you can read that goes even more in depth into night terrors and the struggles of sleep challenges. And really, more importantly, the best thing that you can do if you think this is your kiddo is send us a private message, give us a call, because what we can do as neurologically focused chiropractors is we can actually find and locate where this stress might be in their nervous system, where their stress might be stuck, using this amazing tool called the Insight Scan. And it lets us look deeper into your kiddo's neurology, because if we can find where that stress is stuck, then we know exactly what to do to go about fixing it. So please learn more. Let us help. We would love to help. Share this with a friend who might need to see it, as always. And, we just want to help as many kids as possible get to that good, healthy sleep, because we know the huge foundational impact that can have on the rest of their life going forward. So give us a call, ask more questions, learn more, reach out if you want. We're always here to help. Thanks so much, y'all.